Welcome to the MMA Outsiders podcast with Andrew Pearson and AJ Hill.
All right, everyone, welcome to the MMA Outsiders. I'm Andrew Pearson.
I'm getting tired of this shit. I'm just kidding. I'm AJ Herrick.
This is our third time trying to record. Having some difficulty recording on a Sunday evening. AJ, how you doing out there in North Carolina?
It's cool, man. Can't complain. Just got done recording yesterday. I got to go in tomorrow and master.
Right. AJ had, of course, the professional guitar player, had his recording session yesterday. You said it was like 8 hours or something like that?
Yeah, which is not that bad considering, like, a lot of times it takes months and it's like 12 hours. Sometimes you just stay in the studio for like 24 hours. I've heard of people doing that, just sleeping and then waking up and just continuously working on stuff.
That sounds very unhealthy, but it also sounds like you killed it first try.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I only did 4 songs, so and it was only two guitar parts. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, because there's layers to this track.
Yeah, just 2, 3, something like that.
So, as someone who has a high expertise in something, I want to get your opinion on Garry Tonon. Garry Tonon made his MMA debut in ONE FC over the weekend, and he crushed it, man. Like he's been training for like 4 months, striking for like 4 months, and with like Jake Shields and John Danaher, and he just crushed it. Knocked the guy down. Once he got top position, he was just unloading with heavy shots. Of course, his grappling was obviously on point. Garry Tonon's like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, I do believe. But as someone who comes from mastery of one discipline, if you try to like learn another discipline, it can be very frustrating. Can you relate to that in terms of like having mastery of the guitar and then like taking on some like other instrument or something like that?
Absolutely. Like if I try to pick up like drums, I can kind of get it down, but there are certain things I just can't do. But if I were to play like a saxophone or a trumpet, I played saxophone, but if I were to try to play a trumpet, I would get frustrated very easily because it's just a different set of muscles. But I think with him specifically, when you're coming to martial arts, I think it's not necessarily his skill level as craft is concerned, but I think it's his. He's not just a high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner, but he's a high-level competitor.
Yes.
And he's a high-level performer. So I think people, you have or you don't, that like killer instinct, that natural ability to perform under pressure. I think that's what made him successful in this, and I think that's what's going to continue to make him successful. It's kind of like if you meet people that are, there's a difference between being like a black belt in jiu-jitsu and then like a world champion black belt in jiu-jitsu, you know? There's a complete difference. You know, the one guy is very high level and he knows his stuff, but that other guy it's a different game in itself. Same thing with musicians. If you find a professional musician that he might not have all the knowledge in the world, but he can go up on stage without any problems and just play, and it sounds really well. And then you have these guys that go get their doctorate, and they can't really play on the spot. You know, it's different.
That's interesting. Like, so it's the difference between a performer or like a competitor and someone who's just really good at what they do, but then that's not it's not their mindset or their mentality.
Yeah.
Or maybe not their personality.
Right.
Because I'd be curious to see like what the correlation is, but a lot of fighters seem like they're outgoing people. Like they enjoy the spotlight, at least in that particular moment.
Right.
And they enjoy like shining in the spotlight. Not everyone is. Not everyone is. Like I don't think Cowboy Cerrone is so much, and he deals with like really intense nerves.
Yeah, but I think Cowboy is an adrenaline junkie, so that's his fuel. You know, like he likes to fight because it gives him it's an edge. Puts him on edge.
That thrill.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, So, I mean, surprising amount happened this weekend. Josh Barnett won his arbitration against USADA.
Yep.
Which,
tainted supplement, is that what they said?
Yeah, something like that. And his question was, so, that's a couple years that I can't get back. So what's up? So you just, he spent a couple years of his career, and I know heavyweight has the age is different there, but he's still in his 40s, isn't he?
Well, he started mad young too, man. He's gotten punched in the face. He's probably one of the higher decorated fighters in the UFC at heavyweight, man. He's been doing it since he was in college.
He was a champion at one point. I mean, and then he got stripped because he did take steroids.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. To be fair, man, he's been busted multiple times. So I mean, it's not really. I thought it was he took something. I think everybody kind of suspected it. So, but to be proven that it was a tainted supplement, or not proven, but convinced that it was a tainted supplement, it doesn't mean that it was a tainted supplement. I mean, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but I don't know, man. I'm always iffy when it comes to him.
Yeah, Barnett's he's an interesting person, a really interesting personality.
He's pretty cool. You listen to him talk. He's kind of a nerd.
He is. It's weird
in life. Yeah,
it's weird. He's a professional wrestler, but also a nerd and a metalhead and all this stuff.
Yeah, collects cars and shit.
Yeah, and then in the political sphere, we had Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
Dude, that was hilarious.
That was really funny. Take a guess on who's favored to win in a celebrity boxing match. There are odds out on this, by the way. There are odds out on this.
Joe Biden any day. Are you talking about?
You take Joe Biden?
Hell yeah! Donald Trump doesn't work out. Donald Trump doesn't exercise. He believes that you only have so many heartbeats, and he doesn't want to waste any of his heartbeats on exercise.
Wait, is that an actual? That
thing? Is serious.
Did
that is a serious thing that he has said. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. So he definitely believes in. So Joe Biden said specifically that he would have kicked Donald Trump's ass in high school.
Yes. Absolutely.
Which. Yeah, he probably would have. But then Trump came out and threatened him in the present day.
Yeah.
I don't know who this guy thinks he is and blah blah blah. It speaks to the state of our country.
Did you see the Biden response?
No. What was the Biden response to that?
It was 5:00 White House lawn. Bring it, bitch.
Wait, I thought that was a parody. Did he actually say that?
That's it. That was his Twitter account. Yeah, that was his Twitter account.
No, now I'm going to look this up.
That was the actual tweet.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that's what it said.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
That's not real. That can't be real.
It has to be, dude, because that was his pic, unless somebody made a fake one.
Yeah, someone made a fake one. That's not real.
It looked just like his handle.
It is his handle, but that's just... Yeah, no. I'm looking at his Twitter right now, and it's not showing up.
I tried to find it, too, but that would have been funny.
Yeah, it would have been funny, man. But yeah, the odds are actually in Trump's favor, so good value there if you want to bet on Joe Biden. But I think the other thing is if you're talking about old men flailing at each other, Trump is a heavier guy, right? So couldn't he just kind of push him into a corner?
Yeah, but man, you've grappled with some heavier dudes that were not in shape, and you know what I mean?
True. That is true.
I have too. They're just mass, and you just mess with them, just throw them around.
Yeah, our country's in a really good spot right now, and that just speaks to how well we're doing. I think.
I mean, it's spring in North Carolina, but it's freezing cold right now, and I'm very frustrated. So I don't know. I'm not saying it has anything to do with the election, but it's kind of strange. I think this global warming thing's speeding up a little bit. Anyway, whatever. Whatever you want. Anyway, so
while the world holds together, we've got and the weather in North Carolina stays unpleasant.
Yeah.
We've got a couple more interesting fights to talk about. Darren Till versus Stephen Thompson was it almost announced?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting sick of this. Dude, it's driving me crazy. I just want Darren Till to fight again.
Right?
He's like, I want to fight anybody.
It's been forever. He had a Twitter exchange with Kamaru Usman that was hilarious, where he was just like, "Yeah, man, you're a beast. I'm scared of you. I'm scared of you, but I'll still come and fucking rip your head off." And it was funny because it was honest. He's like, but it was also he continued to like trash talk while he was talking Usman up, like saying, "Yeah, I imagine at 100% you're a monster." Which you remember Usman after his last fight was like, "Yeah, I was only at 30%."
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was great.
It was only 30%. This is. You'd have seen 100%. It's like, why don't you just go 100%?
Well, he said he was. He clarified afterwards he was 30%, like health wise. So he's like fighting through injuries and stuff like that.
Okay.
But that's always like, I love when fighters just make up statistics as to like how hard they were going. Johnny Hendricks did that when he fought GSP. Just it's like going like 80%. What does that even mean? Like, it doesn't mean anything, basically. But yeah, I mean, who would you pick between Thompson and Till? Because I think they're really dangerous matchups for each other.
Man, I don't know, dude, because they both have like they have a highly decorated kickboxing. Darren Till's more of a he was more Muay Thai striker, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, which is weird because the way he fights, he doesn't check leg kicks. He has that long stance with hands low, and he almost looks like a karate stylist. But when you look at Stephen Thompson, Thompson's like more side on. But they both have like that hands low. They throw without really telegraphing their punches, so it's really hard to time either one of them because they don't load up or like. They don't load up on their punches. I think Till's in that way is a very difficult matchup because Stephen Thompson relies on getting his reads right. Like he has to kind of get your rhythm and your timing, and I think Till's going to be really difficult for him at the time. And we saw like that was a hard thing for him to handle versus Tyron Woodley, facing a guy who has big power and he's really hard to time. So. I'm curious how that's going to play out. I think Thompson has like a more diverse kicking arsenal. There's just a more diverse arsenal in general. But Till has really good pressure footwork. So the footwork battle is going to be interesting to me because in open space, I think open space favors Wonder Boy.
Sure.
But if Till cuts off the cage like he did against,
like he did with Cerrone,
like that's definitely that's in his it's in his best interest to do that, and that makes it really difficult for Thompson to get the space he needs to dart in and out. So yeah, I'm really interested. I hope that is the fight they make because Till also has had cardio issues.
Yes.
And sorry. Till has cardio issues, so over 5 rounds, I could see it being a problem for him. Especially if Thompson like kind of keeps the pace kind of high. So we'll see.
Right.
But
okay. Yeah, I think I don't know who's the bigger fella. Who's the bigger guy?
I think Darren Till's bigger. Like physically, I just think he's a bigger guy.
Yeah, I don't know who I give that fight to. I always give Wonderboy the underdog spot, but he always seems to prove me wrong, being tougher than he actually is. I think it's because you watch his fights and then you see him interviewed and you forget how like good of a competitor he is because of his personality.
Yeah, he's that like church kid who won the the All Valley karate tournament like as a kid, and yeah, somehow when he's actually tough, man. Like we've seen him fight through adversity before. When he gets hit, he likes to hit you back. So I think that and the winner's got to be the de facto best striker at welterweight, right?
Yes.
Like, I mean, I know Woodley beat Thompson, but it's hard for me to say he's the better striker. He just fought he diffused Thompson's striking game, but I wouldn't call him a better striker. He just has a big right hand and he makes a really good use of it and like scares people off with it. but I wouldn't call him a better striker. So, I mean, like, and Robbie Lawler was could have made that claim a couple years ago, but I wouldn't make that claim for him now. Dos Anjos is a really good striker, but yeah, like I also wouldn't make that claim. Like he relies on his grappling and his top position wrestling as well. So yeah, I think that like those are the two strikers at the top of this division. Whoever wins would be in line for a title shot, you'd think, after they get this whole interim mess sorted out. So that's the other news. Well, the rumor is that Colby Scat Covington is going to fight Rafael Dos Anjos. What did you think when that news came out? Are you in favor of it? Were you like, oh no, another interim title?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't really like talking about Covington because he ends up being a headliner for no reason.
Yeah, someone was saying like I forget who it was, but the difference between Covington and a guy like Darren Till or a guy like Conor McGregor or Chael Sonnen even is that they'll switch it up. They'll have a moment of honesty where you can't tell like what's coming out of their mouth. Are they talking shit, or do they really believe this? Or they'll mix in something that's actually interesting. And Covington doesn't do that. It's just a stream of just him being an asshole.
Right.
And so it's like, why even? Yeah, I don't care, you know.
Right.
But yeah, so that's a thing. I don't think that should be a thing though. I mean, Covington, I guess, has earned it. And Rafael Dos Anjos has earned it. But the Woodley, I guess if you just consider it a top contenders match, it's fine. But Woodley definitely hasn't been sitting out long enough to justify an interim title fight. He defended his belt for all the noise he made about wanting a super fight. He defended his belt back to back. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had the draw with Stephen Thompson. He rematched him immediately, and then he fought Damian Maia. Those were guys on like 6 and 7 fight win streaks, and he took them out in pretty timely fashion. I think it was only like his average time between title fights is still like lower than the average for a welterweight champion in history. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like the interim title is justified, but they always do that now. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So, in somewhat more entertaining news, do you see this guy who knocked himself out and then his opponent got up and did a flip and then some sort of wrestling finish? Like the guy jumped on his back or like off his back and flipped into the air and like slammed down.
No, I didn't see it. Who was it?
It was at Legacy Fighting Alliance 36.
Okay.
And let me look this up for you. See, this is where I send you things. You just have to actually look at them. Drew Chapman got DQ'd after flipping off KO'd opponent's back. So he stood on the guy. The guy went to like take him down and like slammed his own head on the guy's knee. And then was unconscious. So the guy jumps on his back and then like does a front flip, and then immediately gets disqualified. And he would have won, like because the guy knocked himself out. So yeah, Drew Chapman. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
That's crazy. That's all.
But yeah, it's like MMA is the most amazing sport in the world, especially when it's just stuff like that. Just ridiculous stuff that you won't see in any other sport. So apparently it wasn't hurt anymore, but yeah.
Well, you know what? There's been a lot of crazy stuff, but it's not because of the ring stuff. It's just I told you about the thing during the Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield fight where the parachute guy came in.
Oh yeah,
the ring.
The guy parachuted into
all kinds of weird.
Yeah, so that is true. That is true. Combat sports in general lend themselves to being a spectacle, but MMA, because there's more possibilities, there's more just weird stuff that happens all the time. even in training. So Devin Powell, who's a UFC fighter, is a training partner of Joe Lozon. Apparently they were going too hard, and basically he broke his ball, one of them, and he didn't even go to the hospital. He's like, all right, whatever.
That's not me, man.
Yeah, it goes to show you like what a different breed fighters are.
Yeah.
Like I was at a local gym this morning, and the exchange got kind of heated. Like someone opened up someone else's face while they were MMA sparring with small gloves, and the other guy was real tall. Went after the first guy and like just put one hand on the guy's face and like just started throwing heat with the other hand, and they had to like kind of a couple people were there just kind of like calm the situation down, like, hey guys, we're not trying to kill each other here, we're trying to train, right, like it's supposed to be beneficial for both of you. But then afterwards, one of the coaches, who will remain unnamed, was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't, but I like to see that stuff happen.
That's funny.
It's like,
that's awesome.
It's like, what can I say? I like violence. I'm like, yeah, you probably shouldn't admit that, and you probably also shouldn't like when like fighters go off and like risk going to the hospital in your gym.
Hey, let me ask you this: Are you training jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, or are you just doing jiu-jitsu?
I'm doing whatever I can, man. Right now it's mostly jiu-jitsu, but I'm trying to get back into and doing some striking too.
That's cool. That's good.
But yeah, man. Yeah. So the thing with Devin Powell too, the thing that makes it crazy, and the reason why you shouldn't be hurting fighters in the gym, his initial attempt to have his paws looked at was rejected, and because the place he went to was like, you don't have traditional insurance, so you can kick rocks. That was his quote. Then that's why he went to try to sleep it off, basically, and he finally went back to the hospital, and they looked at it and they had to like basically do surgery. And a week later he's training again. He just said he'll never train without a cup again. So.
I hope so. Actually, you know what though? I barely wore a cup and mouth guard when I used to spar. When I was in like high school and stuff. It's stupid, I know, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea. I'm lucky I still have my teeth, and I'm lucky I didn't get hit in the nuts.
Yeah, like the thing is, like, you can. It's just like, well, I mean, like, here I am saying like it's exactly the same, but I don't have a case from my iPhone, and it's all fine. It can be fine for literally years, but the one time you drop it,
exactly,
changes everything.
Do you remember that one time, or the gym we used to go to, we used to wear cups when we would roll? Remember that?
Yeah.
Dude, like, I didn't realize that, but it's actually, like, not good to do for, like, the other person. So, like, you get in mount position, it, like, really hurt their, like, sternums and stuff.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'd rather everyone I roll with wear one. Just
because you don't want to feel their nuts?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the next jiu-jitsu school I went to, that nobody wore cups. I was the only guy with a cup on. I was like, man, maybe I should wear a cup. So I just stopped wearing it.
Yeah, see, that's still a bad idea.
Yeah, it's all right. Not a big deal. What else are we going to talk about?
Well,
sent me a whole list of stuff.
Yeah, and actually, I think we've more or less gone through it. Next week, we're gonna go into UFC 223, talk about Ferguson, Habib, all the other fights in that card, because there's some great ones. Even like some of the fights you wouldn't think about, like Al Iaquinta versus Paul Felder. That fight's awesome.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, like incidentally, two of the best actors in the UFC. Paul Felder was in like a theater actor before he was an MMA fighter, which is why he's so good at commentary. He does some of the commentary for the Dana White's Contender Series, because as we talked about earlier, like just getting in front of people and performing, something he's used to. And Al Iaquinta was in a pilot of a TV show that evidently never got picked up, but apparently he was really good in it. So two of the best actors in the UFC's lightweight division, and also just two of the most violent dudes are going to slug it out, which is going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be Paul Felder spinning elbows against Ali Quinta's right hand.
Yep, pretty much. And I love Ali Quinta. He's such a good character.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. He's such a stereotypical New Yorker,
Right.
Like, I'm from upstate New York. It's 100% different. Like he's from, I don't know where he's from in the city.
He's from Long Island, I thought.
Is he really? Yeah, that makes sense.
He's
it's probably
from where all those other guys are from.
Like with Chris Weidman and all those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that should be awesome.
So, Ali Quinta, let's figure this out. Oh.
By the way, did you see that Canelo got temporarily suspended ahead of the rematch with Triple G?
Yeah, something they ate or something.
Presumably it's the meat. It's the meat in Mexico.
Yeah, something that's
So hopefully he gets to fight. That's basically what I care about. I guess theoretically he could be using that as an excuse to use the banned substance and then say, oh no, it's from the tainted meat. But that's probably not what he's doing. Seems like the most likely explanation is the one that a bunch of other fighters from China and Mexico. Those are the areas that have the issue with the tainted beef.
Right.
So, yeah, hopefully he gets an exemption. But they're not really allowing much space in between the meeting he has with the NAC, the Nevada Athletic Commission, and the fight. It's only like a month. So yeah, we'll find out, I guess, in April 10th, I believe the hearing is. But did you find out where Ali Quinta's from?
Wantagh, New York.
I don't know what.
Wantagh. It's somewhere in Long Island.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of right. Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it, AJ.
Yeah, I know my shit. I know my stereotypes very well, sir.
Hey, that's how we all get along in America now. Just go off stereotypes.
I guess, man. So anyway, well, yeah, man. I don't have anything else to talk about. It's kind of a boring week in combat sports.
No, it actually hasn't, man. Like we just didn't I was actually out of town, so I didn't sit down and watch a whole event. But apparently Invicta was awesome. It was a bloody and an awesome event.
It was boring for me because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I was kind of busy
because you weren't paying attention.
Stuff too.
Oh right, yeah, you were recording it for 8 hours on Saturday, so that's a fair excuse. But yeah, there was the K1 had their kickboxing event in Japan. One of my Midnight Mania articles has a link to that. To that whole event, so you can go stream it on YouTube if you're really bored.
Cool.
But yeah, on Monday I'm gonna have plenty of gifts from the weekend because and a lot of stuff happened. Oh, okay, here we go. So I just saw this one. MMA fighters batter Wing Chun masters in China. This is the guy. Do you see? You saw the earlier version of the story, right? Where an MMA fighter.
Vice?
What's that?
Was it on Vice?
It might have been. So this is Zhu Ziadong. Has been fighting and calling out traditional kung fu artists and just beating them up.
Yeah, it was on Vice. Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. The guy he was fighting was claiming to be a 4th generation descendant of Ip Man, and after a few seconds he got tossed to the ground, and the referee broke him up, and then he landed another throw. So it was pretty much he landed a couple throws and an overhand right, and that was it.
Damn.
So.
Yeah.
See, by the way,
that's what happens.
Wing Chun is actually supposed to be one of the more useful martial arts. But
if you're fighting another Wing Chun guy, but if you're fighting mixed martial artist or a boxer, even, like, it's just not gonna work.
well, I'm
You
always
just especially like boxing. Like, if you're trying to box, you just stand up with your head up, like you, with your body exposed and your head up, trying to get on the inside.
yeah, that's a good point, man. Hands low. I mean, like, it maybe with more live sparring, because I know guys who know Wing Chun and like have used it effectively in the street, but it is amazing to me how hard it is for traditional martial artists to like deal with just someone slinging an overhand right at them.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, that is actually kind of a hard situation to deal with.
If you set it up, you don't see it. Yeah, that's one of the things you don't see coming.
Yeah.
If you set it up right.
Especially if you're facing someone who's like reasonably athletic.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the interesting thing about this is the Chinese government is really trying to shut this down, because for them traditional martial arts is like part of their cultural heritage and also one of their exports, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they don't want it discredited. But my thing is, like, they should be fighting. Like, that's the whole point of martial arts, right? Is to evolve and learn the best ways to fight someone, basically. Like, I know we tack on honor and respect because it's an important like counterweight to the brutality of violence.
Yeah.
And like, if you're going to teach someone how to fight, you should probably also teach them when they shouldn't fight. But it really is about fighting at the end of the day. So why are you not actually teaching people how to fight?
Exactly. Well, it's a business thing, man. Like especially rooted in like Chinese tradition. It's weird because I kind of dealt with this growing up too. My father, for instance, like my father's very knowledgeable when it came to that kind of stuff. He taught me a lot of things. He actually was a big influence in my life, but he believed the Aikido bullshit. Like, he used to go to seminars and stuff, and he really, it was back in the day, the Black Belt magazine. I don't follow the history for that. You'd have advertisements, people trying to teach Denmark, and you'd buy these certain CDs for such and such a price and learn the secrets of the Chinese warriors, and just a bunch of frauds.
Yeah, it's always this big secret, like the secret things you need to know to learn how to fight. Like, fighting's not a secret, man. Just go to the MMA gym.
Exactly. People follow into that nonsense that they see on like movies. They want to sensationalize like martial arts being like this artistic, beautiful thing that will. Well, I mean, there are parts of it.
Yeah, and not to say there's nothing from traditional martial arts that you can take from. Like, there's obviously valuable pieces. And valuable techniques, and like even valuable philosophy in many cases.
Sure.
But
sure, absolutely.
Like, claiming that one system is the secret magical bullet that has all the knowledge is pretty.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like you said, it's a racket.
It's pretty. Anyway, it's a racket. So anyway, I had to deal with that. Trying to even convince my dad now. It's kind of hard because he'll talk about the Aikido guys. He always wanted me to do Aikido, but I never did, thankfully. But I met a few people that talk about like their kung fu backgrounds and histories, and one of the things that they talk about is the Denmark, and it has to do with the way the sun is setting. He's like, it's all these things go into it, but there's something about it in Chinese culture where they're very proud of their culture, which is okay,
Right.
And this guy is kind of
feeding
bringing a quote-unquote Americanized Western version of fighting. It's kind of barbaric, it's not the traditional way.
Which is funny because like our knowledge of jiu-jitsu came from the East. It came from Japan, and originally it came from China. Like, Japanese jiu-jitsu experts went to Brazil, and like it kind of evolved from there and turned into Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But yeah, it was like it was judo and Brazilian or Japanese jiu-jitsu spelled differently without the I between the J and the U. But that's where it came from, and it's pretty much come full circle. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about it for this week.
Yeah, man.
So, AJ, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, AJ Herrick, Herrick. My Twitter and Instagram is AJAYHURICK. Give me a like and a share.
And a
If
follow.
you see any of my music stuff, that'd be great. What about you, man?
You can find me on Twitter and Facebook at Vorpality, VORPALITY. Yeah, I write the Midnight Mania series at MMAmania.com, so check that out. It's one of the better things on the internet in terms of entertainment value. Collect all the social media posts from the day and put them all into a column for you. So nice and convenient.
True story.
So, yeah, true story.
All right, man.
All right, we're done for the week, and we'll see you all next week to preview UFC 228.
28? Which one is it?
It's 223.
That's what I was going to say, damn.
I lose track. So it's yeah. Write about this stuff every day, and like the consequence of that is you tend to avoid trying to think about it.
Right.